What if I told you that writing your book in order, chapter by chapter, might actually be slowing down your creative process? Stick with me. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but today I'm going to show you a process that could transform your writing process. And I'm giving you permission to write out of order. We've all been taught that books should be written from start to finish, point A to point B to point C. And that's logical, right? But here's why this approach can backfire, especially if you're feeling creatively stuck. When you follow the traditional approach, you are forcing yourself to write scenes that you're not excited about. It happens. Even though these are stories that we think up in our heads, sometimes it feels like a slog and you force yourself through it, right? But let's say your creative energy really does get stuck in those difficult scenes, it really can bring on reasons to avoid writing, which is what we don't want to happen. So, what I do when this happens is I might jump to a different scene. And you can too. Let me show you how. Scene jumping is a technique that allows you to follow your creative energy rather than fight it. When you're writing scenes that excite you, then the creative energy really is flowing. So, scene jumping allows you to follow your energy. It allows you to capture inspiration when it strikes, right? And it allows you to build confidence because now you've completed scenes. So, when you have that forward momentum, that builds confidence also. And those difficult scenes that you will get back to, now they're surrounded by scenes that you've already completed. So again, you already have finished content. You don't have to look at only blank space in the future. So the natural flow between inspiration and execution, that period becomes a little bit shorter. I know what you're thinking. Won't this just create a big mess? My story's messy enough as it is. You can avoid mess if you have a few organizational techniques up your sleeve. I'll show you how. So I'm going to preface this by saying that this technique of scene jumping really works, or really only works, if you have an outline created. Because from that outline, what you can do is create every scene that you're going to write, right? And it doesn't have to be a detailed scene plan, but you do need to know what scenes you're going to write. So, getting to the actual scene tracking, you have your outline, you have your scenes written out, and you know that you've been working on, let's say you're in Act 2B, and you're working on the scenes and you're leading up to the climax, and you're just not feeling the story, and you realize that maybe you are delaying writing. Maybe you missed your scheduled writing time a couple of times this week, and you're trying to figure out why, and you decide, I'm just gonna push through, I'm just going to do it. And that's not working. With the scene jumping method, what you would do is look at your list of scenes and say, okay, this next scene that I'm supposed to write, I'm just really not feeling it. What can I write that might be a little more exciting? Where's my mind at? Where's my energy? And you pick a scene that might be maybe towards the end of the story, and you write it, right? You're following your natural energy flow. What does this do? It allows you to move with the story as the energy flows and allows you to see forward progress. So, because you have your scenes already listed out, there's no problem. You know that what scenes you still need to do in between where you stopped and where you jumped ahead to. So, how do you do this? What do you need in order to do this? It can be very low tech. What I'm talking about can be as low tech as, index cards. Maybe you've written out all of the scenes that are needed for your story on index cards. And again, you're not writing paragraphs, you're writing some indication of what's supposed to happen in the scene. Happens at the beginning, happens in the middle, happens at the end, boom. Write it on an index card. If you're using the scene jumping method, let's say when you've written that scene, let's say you just put a little check mark. You know that scene is now taken care of. You don't have to look at it anymore. Or you could go mid tech and maybe you make up a spreadsheet, right? On Google Sheets. You write a spreadsheet with all of your scenes. You, again, complete it when you've completed a scene out of order, when you've used the scene jumping process in order to get over that creative hump that you're experiencing. Or it could be a little more, high tech, and you're using software in order to track your scenes. And Scrivener is excellent for that because it will show you on in the software individual scene cards for every one scene, and you can move them around on screen. So if you're jumping out of order, it's no problem. You can track, okay, I've already written this scene and here are the scenes that I still need to write. So again, it is possible to do it. You can jump out of order. I'm giving you permission to write out of order. You will still have your story. You're still going to enjoy writing your story because, frankly, we need to put in as much enjoyment in our writing sessions as possible. Get finished. We want the project to end. The goal isn't to make writing more complicated. It really is to make it more natural, feel more enjoyable, so that you can get the writing done, so you can complete your novel. Scene jumping is something that you can try when you're creatively stuck. And let me know in the comments if you've tried it and if it worked for you. Until next time.